Welcome, welcome, welcome. You are listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. We have the First Lady of Sports Talk, the one and only Cheryl Smith, Goddess Kelli, the Diva of Sports Debate. Check out the music this week on Shout Out. We are featuring performances from Jessica's theme band, where they find their shining star. I get the cold feel of the mute button. And before we get into it, I am saddened, but I'm like, I'm saddened in one way, but I'm proud in another. And I'm saddened at the loss of the queen, the only American queen, the true queen, Aretha Franklin. I love you, baby. I still tear up listening to Bridge Over Troubled Water. Today, that'll just have me, just shirt all wet, the way she moved that song, and so many. So we know that she has been welcomed up in the big place. They said they got the stage ready for and the baby grand sitting there waiting for the queen. First Lady, we're ready. What you say?
Each week we try to figure out what is going on in the sports world. Not the plays of the week, more like the players of the week. Are they trying to tell us something? So we ask, what you saying? Fly, little birdie, fly. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. So I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle. Let the spirit carry me. I want to fly right into the future. The little birdie known as Marlins starter Jose Urena may wish he had a ticket on Southwest Airlines so he can fly far away from the 6-game suspension he was hit with after intentionally hitting Ronald Acuna at the start of Wednesday night's game in Atlanta. Is baseball showing it is out of touch with what the fans want and expect? Let me demonstrate. I don't believe I'm good enough to strike this guy out by hitting him. Baseball has too long a season. Its main audience is older than old grumpy, and that's old, like ancient Egyptian old, and there is no drama. Do these types of antics hurt or help the game? Do Major League Baseball players need to be more outspoken about the unwritten rules a la the NBA and NFL? In the NFL, you don't hit a man in the knees. In the NBA, if a player is in the air, you don't cut under their legs. Janine Garofalo, Lonnie Love, Maria Bamford, and the Steve Miller Band are asking, what you saying? Well, Jose Urena definitely intentionally threw a ball at Ronald Acuna, but it is one of the things, those unwritten rules, when you have a player he actually had 3 leadoff home runs in 3 consecutive games against the Marlins, so that's the reason why Jose Urena hit him. But, that's always been a part of baseball. You brush him back, you brush him off of the plate. But the interesting thing about this situation to me is that he was suspended for 6 games immediately. Normally, when pitchers hit a player, they're not immediately suspended because what's happening is during the course of a game, and the umpires usually have to warn both teams about retaliation. That's when they get suspended, is when they retaliate. So this was an unusual suspension that he was immediately suspended because I guess they realized it was definitely intentionally that it was the first pitch of the game. But it was a little bit unusual for baseball to go that route. And it's going to be interesting. I'm quite sure, yes, I believe Urena is appealing this suspension, so it'll be interesting to see what baseball decides because there really isn't any precedent regarding being suspended for the first pitch of the game and hitting a baseball player. I mean, baseball players are hit constantly throughout the game. So I'm not saying I'm against it, but it's just unusual for baseball to go this route. So maybe they are trying to change the way the game is perceived. But if you ask old school baseball fans, it's a part of the game, and it is an unwritten rule. I mean, beanballs have come and gone, you know. People have been hit all the time. Now, as far as efforts to reach millennials, I mean, obviously these tactics will hurt the game for millennials because, you know, millennials are the type of people, they believe in competition. So hitting a player really isn't part of competition. Now, fans definitely like drama. So, I mean, like I said, the old school baseball fans prefer that drama and prefer players getting hit. I believe it, you know, because it's been going on. Nobody said anything about it. And it's so ironic that Keith Hernandez actually came out and spoke about this, and he is an old school baseball player. Baseball, again, you know, who talks about baseball? Baseball popularity is not there. And I think one of the reasons baseball is not popular is because the stars of the Major League Baseball, they are not outspoken. They don't use social media. I mean, if most of these players came and walked right in front of my face, I wouldn't even know who they are, to be honest with you. Trout is one of the biggest baseball stars of long time, and if he passed me by right this moment, I wouldn't even know what he looked like. And that's sad. And, you know, that's the reason why baseball is not Americans' favorite pastime now. I mean, Gallup did a poll in January 2018, and people had ranked baseball as being their favorite sport. 9% of the respondents chose baseball. And matter of fact, baseball was just above soccer. Soccer is actually gaining popularity over baseball. Soccer was at 7%. Of course, football and basketball are the 1-2 sports in America. So, I mean, 9%, that was the lowest ranking since Gallup has been doing this poll since 1937. That's really saying something. Baseball has really fallen off of the page as far as fans enjoying baseball and watching it. It is no longer America's pastime. And I used to love baseball, but you know what? I really don't even care about watching baseball anymore. So it's sad. It's sad where we come with baseball. Goddess Kelly, I know you're an Eagles fan, but do you enjoy the Philadelphia Phillies and baseball?
Actually, having grown up in Connecticut, when it comes to baseball, I am actually a Red Sox fan. So, yay, go Sox. But I have to agree, when it comes to baseball, the allure just isn't there. I mean, I don't want to say I'm a fair-weather fan, but I'm kind of just a fair-weather fan. I don't watch the regular season of baseball pretty much at all. When it comes to playoff times, if the Red Sox, you know, make it into the playoffs, which they do quite often, and then especially when they make it to the World Series, then I'm definitely watching. But before that, definitely really not. And especially since the retirement of Big Papi, they don't have the personalities, like you said. When it comes to this incident with Jose Urena intentionally hitting the other player, well, first of all, if you're getting suspended for intentionally hitting him, then, you know, your acting skills are not up to par. You need to be all like, oh my gosh, oops, it was an accident. You need to deny that, and you need to play it off a little bit better so you don't get hit with a suspension. But when it comes down to it, a 6-game suspension in baseball, it means nothing. There's, 180-something games in the baseball regular season? And I think that is why the majority of fans just don't watch, because every game is so meaningless. It really is. When it comes to especially the NFL, when you only get 16 games in a season, every single game can have implications for your hope at a playoff run. Every single game. Now, in basketball, it's obviously not every single game, but basketball has got the big personalities. You become, you know, you love the players for who they are, for what they show you on the basketball court, more so than any other sport. And I think that's why basketball has gained so much popularity, not because people love the sport of basketball more than they love other sports, but because of that level of personal feeling you get towards the players and the fact that they are so front and center and you get to know them so much more than the other sports. And with baseball, you don't have either that. You've got this super long season, and you've got players that nobody really cares about anymore because now, after Big Papi's gone, they're boring. There's nobody with any personality. and it's in the middle of summer. The only thing that I think is positive about baseball and its super long, hot summer season is the fact that the kids are out of school. And we were just talking before the show about how I don't have any kids. I don't know when school is back in session. I have no idea. But for people that do have kids, I think that it is still a great family experience to be able to, get the kiddies together and take them out to a ball game. And having so many different games, it keeps the ticket prices cheaper than they are for football games or for basketball games. And it allows more people access to that family bonding of going to a live sporting event. So for that, I definitely give baseball props. But I think it is out of touch with what the actual hardcore sports fans want to watch and want to see. So I think that they need to find something to make it more interesting to the general masses because, as First Lady alluded to, baseball fans, they're dying out. If we go back 50 years ago, baseball would have been the absolute most popular sport in this country, and now it's dying because of that lack of personalities, the meaningless games, and just the fact that we love our other sports more because they're more interesting to us. And that's really all I'm saying on this one.
All right. Well, I know African-American kids, they don't even play baseball anymore. You don't even see that many African-American kids. I mean, I watched the Little League last night. Actually, that game was a little bit more exciting than the baseball games, but you just don't see any more African-American children playing baseball now. You'll see Hispanic children playing, but not African-Americans. Spitface, what are you saying about this?
For shame, for shame, for shame. Are y'all trying to say that we need people like Pete Rose back?
Yeah.
Folks who could add some
somebody with a personality.
Some folks that could add some excitement. That's the thing. Baseball ain't got no villains. And, you need some villains, where we want them to lose. And it used to be that everybody could hate the Yankees. But, they ain't had, but now that's just like passe. But the thing about baseball was that, in football, you gotta be big and strong and fast and all of that. And in basketball, you need height. But in baseball, whether you tall, whether you big, whether you wide, whether you skinny, if you can hit the ball, you can play. If you can catch, you can play. If you can throw, you can play. So, baseball, you didn't have to have, it kind of was like an open sport. Anybody can, pick up a bat and work on, even if you can just bunt, you could play the game. So kids could always play baseball. They might not be able to play football, or have a height to play basketball. But everybody could play baseball or softball, so you could, you could get involved. And, what's happening is that, baseball, as you ladies have said, you got this long, unnecessarily long season. And the other thing is that, that's hurting it is that you actually got too many franchises. And that has diluted the talent. So, yeah, you're getting top players, but now you got teams where those teams got to get players. So the pool of players has opened up, but it's now diluted. Because now you got talent that ain't all that wouldn't have made it, let's say 20, 30 years ago. Because the team, so, that competition between players, it isn't there as much. So we don't see the best of the best. And, as Goddess Kelli said, with football, you only got 16 games. And football is more about the city. The city, like, look at a city like Cleveland. Cleveland got great fans. They love their football team. And you go, man, this football team ain't produced nothing. But it's city pride. The city is going, we want our team, and if it take them 40 years and they win, we going to be there on that 40th year. That's just how they roll, you know, 'cause it's for the city. Baseball was that way, but it kind of, when they started putting teams everywhere on the map, you know, that kind of, that city pride for a team got diluted. But baseball, hey, I put it like this. Y'all got a problem. And then the other thing is, certain folks are looking at baseball and they're saying, hey, you know what? This is, you know, this ain't America's sport because people got names like Acuna playing it. So baseball, y'all got some work to do. That's all I'm saying. Y'all got some work to do.
Well, you know what? I kind of agree with you, but I disagree with you too, because the problem with baseball too is that you were talking about the expansion teams. I look at the Miami Marlins. The Miami Marlins started in 1993, but they won 2 world championships. They won in, I think, 1997 and in 2002 or 2003. But the thing is, these teams want to make money, so what they do, they trade off their players to keep the expenses down. That's what the Houston Astros had been doing. They have this new thing now that you tear the team down to build the team up, and you come with your own organic grown players, homegrown players. So I think that's the model that they're using. So I don't know if it's the expansion. I think they've had these teams I think the Marlins was the last team that was added to Major League Baseball. That was in 1993. But anyway, I think we talked enough about baseball. But guess what? We got to talk about it again. Over to you, Goddess Kelly.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years, rocking my peers and putting suckers in fear, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom. Explosion overpowering. Over the competition, I'm towering. Wrecking shop when I drop these lyrics that'll make you call the cops. Don't you dare stare. You better move. Don't ever compare me to the rest. That'll all get sliced and diced. Competition paying the price. I'm gonna knock you out. Mama said knock you out. We are not talking about Sarah Silverman, Lisa Lampanelli, or Margaret Cho. We are talking about the knockout punch. The Mets landed on the Phillies in Game 1 of a doubleheader by scoring 24 runs. Damn. Was that an old-fashioned butt-whooping or an ass-whipping? In the NBA or NFL, an occasional blowout does not impact overall viewership of the sport. But can the same be said for Major League Baseball, where potential new viewers say it's too long and slow? Were the Phillies lucky it was a doubleheader and they won the second game? Given Philadelphia has the Eagles, the reigning Super Bowl champions, does anyone care the Phillies got their asses kicked? Joan Rivers, Lucille Ball, and Carol Burnett are asking, what you saying? First of all, 24 runs, that's more like a football score than it is a baseball score. I mean, don't they have a mercy rule in baseball? Once you're ahead by that much, don't they just call the game off? Because when it comes down to it, 9 innings can take an extremely long time when they're not timed, when they're timed by the number of outs, not by a clock, like in basketball and in football. I think that's another issue that we didn't bring up with baseball compared to the other sports, that it is a sport where the innings go by activity, not by a timer. So for a team to get 24 runs, you know that game dragged on and on and on. And then you got to feel bad for the players, especially considering it's a doubleheader. I mean, in the second one, were the Mets just so worn out from scoring so many runs in the first game that they kind of let the Phillies win as, a consolation prize, or what was going on there? But when it comes to the city of Philadelphia, living here on the outskirts of the city, they are very passionate about their sports teams, all of them. Now, as you guys know, I'm an extremely passionate Philadelphia Eagles fan, But a lot of people that were born and raised in the city, they love all of the teams, and that includes the Philadelphia Phillies. And a lot of people that I'm affiliated with are extremely excited about how the Phillies are doing this season. Obviously, they're not on the absolute top of the heap, but they're going to make it to the playoffs. They're going to make it a pretty decent run. And in a city that has just won their very first Super Bowl ever, that love and support for the city's sports is extending to the Philadelphia Phillies. So the stands are full for the games. People are excited. People are talking on social media about it. And I know back when I lived in Cleveland, when the Cleveland Indians were doing well, a lot of people would still get behind them as well. So although we've been talking about how Major League Baseball is in trouble, how they're not gaining new viewership, the city does still stand behind their baseball team. Even if they're not watching all of the games, they're still standing behind them when they have a good record. So it's kind of like me, being the fair-weather Red Sox fan. I think that the majority of the country has just become fair-weathered baseball fans in general. When your team is doing well, you pay attention. When your team is down at the bottom of the barrel, you're not so much paying attention and you're not talking about it. So I do think for the Phillies there is still a lot of love, but damn, that was an ass whipping. What did you think, First Lady?
Well, I say it was just a good old-fashioned butt whooping. I mean, look, the Mets know how this feels because they had one earlier. You know, they lost by 20-something points, too, on another team. But anyway, the issue I have with these blowouts recently is what the managers are doing. They're putting fielders in as pitchers when the game is out of control. Nobody wants to come to a game and watch a non-pitcher pitch. I mean, I don't understand why they're doing this. I mean, the majority of these pitches were slower than Little League pitching. Oh, and speaking of Little League, gotta tell you, there is a mercy rule in Little League. If you are up by 10 runs, they call the game. Maybe baseball need to look at some of the Little League rules because, I don't know what's going on. This is like a new tactic where you're saving your bullpen. I mean, come on. You just put a pitcher in there to finally get the final out. I don't understand having people pitch that are playing outfield and at third base or whatever they were, whatever their position are, but they are not pitchers. And like you said, Goddess Kelly, yeah, the Phillies were the Mets were overworked in that first game. That's the reason why they lost the second game of the doubleheader. But I just think, again, to me, Philadelphians, they don't really care about the Phillies right now. I mean, back in the day, because I was there when they had Yes We Can, when they won their first World Series. You know, you had, I forgot it was named Dave Cash. He was the second baseman for the Phillies. And he said, yes, we can, yes, we can. I'm aging myself right now, going back that far. But that's when baseball was really exciting, because like you said, there was a lot of different personalities that played back in the day. And now you just don't have that. You just don't have the energy of the people watching the game. The games are too long. And like you said, Goddess Kelly, can you imagine how long that game was? And they had the nerve to have a doubleheader. That must have been horrible, being at the ballpark for such a long time. All the Philadelphians care about right now is when football season will start. It is going to start in a couple of weeks. And all they're concerned about is the Eagles. The Eagles. They want to see if the Eagles can repeat. That's all the Philadelphia care about. Nobody cares about the Philadelphia Phillies right now.
I don't know. Like I said, just being in the city and feeling the vibe, I do kind of disagree with that. There are a lot of people that are excited about how the Phillies are doing. And believe it or not, there's still a lot of people talking about the 76ers as well. Looking forward to that season starting. But Spitface, what are you saying?
Well, when you, that's an ass whipping. There's butt whooping. Where you go? We got a butt whoop. But that was an ass whipping. That's the next level up. Come on. But this points to the problem with baseball, as the First Lady said. You go ahead. You start putting in players who are not pitchers to pitch. That is not serving the game overall. Because who wants to watch that? Now, and I can get if you might be playing the long strategy, like, look, I got to save these pictures for the other games and all of that. But then what does that say about how you care about the person viewing that specific game? You know, so I gotta watch a 24-run beatdown because you won't even put in a pitcher who can at least, you know, get some people out and close out that game if you're gonna wash your hands of it. And that points to how these old relics in baseball just don't get it. This is not 1935. You know, this is 2018. Y'all need to go out and hire Donnie Dutch or get one of them marketing geniuses, because y'all need some help to get your sport back to the prominence because really, you know, you look at baseball is a skill game. It's a skill and a strategy game. And what they have lacked is being able to create that experience where it's, again, drama. You know, when you had people like Pete Rose running around, you like, is he gonna knock somebody on his ass? He was, because my man was rough. You know, I mean, he might have been a gambler and betting on his own sport, but as a player, the man has some heart, and you could, like I said, you could love him or hate him, but you had that drama, you know, like when he, you know, like all them boys was coming to town. Let's see what they gonna do, you know, and so baseball needs a big makeover, and if they do not start appreciating the fans, it's gonna keep dribbling down. Soccer. I never thought I'd hear soccer more popular than baseball. No, say it ain't so, First Lady. Say it ain't so.
Almost.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, now that the boring baseball talk is over, we can take a break and move on to the bigger and better sports. So, First Lady, take us there.
The first two listeners to email us or send a shout-out with the reason these ladies are grouped together will receive a $25 gift card from our partners at AdagiaT.com and NBAstore.com. Your hint, giggle. Stay tuned. Coming up next, we have a performance from Jessica's theme band on the first part of Shout Out.
Let's not play two.
The music flows in from around the globe to get a shout out from the panel. First Lady, I can't wait to hear the music from Jessica's theme band.
On Shout Out, we feature new independent artists who are looking to find their shining star. If we like what we hear, we'll give the track a shout out. If we don't like it, we hit the mute. Today we are featuring the music from Jessica's theme band. All right, DJ, let's hear Everything Goes.
When the morning light opens the door, when you see this man falling down the floor, when the sky turns red and you don't wonder why, everything goes and you lose it from sight. When you think about the one you lost yesterday, life is alright, you can hear people say, when the good times are gone and your love is away, but don't be afraid, before this day, everything goes and all come back. Everything goes and all come back, yeah. Everything goes and all come back. Everything goes and all come back. Yeah, yeah. When the night is cold life goes on just like a long, long song. Beautiful days, they come and they go. I don't have to worry and hang on to hope. And when the people out there give you a smile, don't be afraid to live for a while. And when the people out there give you a smile, don't be afraid to live for a while. Everything goes and all come back. Everything goes and all come back, yeah. Everything goes and all come back. Everything goes and all come back. Everything goes and all come back, yeah. Everything goes and all come back. Everything goes and all come back, yeah. Everything goes and all come back. Everything goes and all come back, yeah. Everything goes and all come back. Everything goes and all come back, yeah. Everything goes and all come back.
Okay, that's Jessica's theme band with Everything Goes. Well, if you want to know something, I was expecting a woman to sing because it just said Jessica's theme band. So I was surprised to hear from a gentleman singing. But you want to know something? I'm going to give the track I'm going to shout it out. I thought the band itself with the musicians, I thought the production of the song and the guitar and all the instruments, I thought that was really great. The singing, it was okay. Wasn't spectacular, but it wasn't spectacular, but it was okay. It almost reminded me of a 70s band, to be honest with you. So I went a little bit old school with rock and roll, but it wasn't hard rock and roll, so I can definitely listen to that. So I'm going to shout it out. Goddess Kelli, what did you think?
I'm somewhere between a really strong yo or a really weak shout out on this one. I thought the guitarist was excellent. The guitar player, extremely talented. The singer, I'm with you. I didn't really care for the singing anywhere as much as I cared for the guitar. The guitar was really the star of this track. The song itself, I didn't think it was anything special. As a whole, I didn't think it was special, but I think that this band, if you hired them to play a wedding or if you hired them to play at your little local bar, I think they would have people out of their seats and, you know, rocking and dancing and that sort of thing. So I think that they would be a fun live band on a small stage setting, but I don't think that they're special in terms of being able to get a radio hit. There wasn't anything there for me for a radio hit, but I think that they would be fun as a wedding band, that sort of thing.
So you're hitting the mute, yo, or you're shouting out?
It's a strong yo on the strength of the guitarist alone.
All right.
Yeah, we'll go strong yo.
All right. Spitface, what are you feeling with this Jessica's theme band?
I'm with you, Fred. I kind of thought that I was expecting like maybe a female singer. So I don't know where they came up with that name. But you know, the other thing that is that the group is out of Greece.
Huh?
Oh.
Yeah, the group they are out of Greece, and unlike the singer, while you know is not one of the greatest vocalists, but he was good. I mean, he was decent. But I'm like, He kind of sound like somebody from, New York, Illinois, but they are all out of Greece. So I go jam on. I'm gonna give them a shout out. It was a good track, and I'm kind of with Goddess Kelly, where if they were in a if you went out and they were playing at a club or someplace, you'd probably be like, yeah, rocking your head. I can't say that they ready for prime time, but I have to give them props that they know what they do. So they would jam. I give them a shout out.
Okay. What you said, they not ready for prime time, not ready for a radio. All right, this is a wedding band. That's not saying too much. But anyway, part two of shout out, we'll have another performance from Jessica's theme band. Do I hear that sound? Yes, I do. It's the sound of our favorite underwater friend. It's time for flipping.
And we know flippers live in a world full of wonder, flying there under the sea.
Sometimes I gotta watch Flipper. Flipper done got sneaky. I put my donut down. Next thing I know, Flipper done swiped it. I gotta watch his little butt. But it is time for Flip It, where our host defend the point and then flip the script and defend the opposing view. There is some real NFL drama going on, and it starts with Chucky's team. We ain't talking about Chuck E. Cheese. The Las Vegas Raiders. That just sounds so weird. The Las Vegas Raiders. It seems as though they cannot come to terms with their main man, Khalil Mack. And the word is, they might try to trade him. Talk about drama. The Raiders would be crazy to trade Khalil Mack. End of story. Goddess Kelly to see it.
Well, I mean, they would be absolutely crazy to try to trade Khalil Mack. I mean, he is their defense. He's the only good defensive player they have got. And a good defensive end in today's NFL is worth so much. I mean, when it comes to getting to the quarterback, he is the only guy on the team that can do it. The Raiders don't have a bad offense. They faltered last year, but I am a fan of Derek Carr. I am a fan of Amari Cooper, and their offense in general is pretty darn good, but they have got zero defense to speak of, with the exception of one Khalil Mack. So if they want to have any chance at making a playoff run, they need to keep the man and then use him to entice some defensive talent from elsewhere before the trade deadline hits.
Crazy. Sometimes folks let ego get in the way. And this might be a case of ego getting in the way. And that ego can either be the front office, or I'll just say a certain coach who won a Super Bowl on a team that was built by Tony Dungy. And their ego might get in the way. And where he's trying to say, I'm the boss, mess around and trade Khalil to make a point. That would be absolutely crazy. Sometimes, look, if I'm Chucky, I'm going, look, I know that the bar has been set high. I mean, real high. because Raider Nation got some things on the line. You know, there's some grumblings that, you know, that move totally out of California that the Raider Nation may not follow the way they did from bouncing back and forth from L.A. to Oakland, because you're still in California. But that move to Vegas, you know, you done kicked your whole fan base to the curb. So is Raider Nation really that strong? And trading Khalil Mack and then season don't go that well, that, I don't know. I think it'd be crazy. First Lady, defend. Crazy.
Yeah, crazy. This is the year of defensive players demanding more money. Aaron Donald wants more money from the Los Angeles Rams. And Khalil Mack, he knows he's the Raiders' best defensive player, and he wants an extension. He is on the last year of his rookie contract. If the Raiders know that they want him to stay, then give the man his extension. He's not asking you to negotiate his current contract. He just wants an extension to be paid like you have paid everyone else. Derek Carr. Mack is 27 years old and in his prime. I mean, he definitely could demand top money for the next 3 years. Let's look at his statistics. He had 61 tackles, the most in his career. He's also double-digit in sacks. He is recognized as one of the best defensive ends. He has been in the league 4 years and has been a Pro Bowler for 3 consecutive years. I mean, this man's statistic is still peaking. The Raiders would be crazy to not sign him.
All right. Crazy. But this is flipping. Well, we flip the script and defend the opposing view. Khalil Mack is valuable. Valuable like that diamond. Especially for a trade and a coach that wants to show everyone he demands. If a team will pay the price, trade him, that diamond shining out there. Ha-ha, what can you get? Goddess Kelli, defend.
Well, of course, Khalil Mack is an extremely valuable player. A good defensive end is very hard to find, and he is one of the best. That being said, though, when a player holds out and refuses to come to training camp, refuses to play unless he gets his extension, that sets a dangerous precedent. If they give in and do the extension, they're basically giving Khalil Mack all the power. Now, what's going to happen a few years down the line when it's time for him to do another contract negotiation, when he's getting near the end of his next contract? It's basically completely undermining your authority. You have a player that has shown dissent and is basically holding you hostage until he gets what he wants. Now, granted, when you're as talented as Khalil Mack, you can get away with it. You really can. But when you're not a brand new coach, but brand new in this decade at least, coach like Chucky Gruden, do you really want to start out the return of your triumphant return to coaching by getting into this kind of power play with a mere player when you were the great Chucky Gruden? No. You don't want to start your new career with the Raiders that way. So I say you take a look at what people are offering, and there is a lot of people that would offer a lot of goods for a defensive end of Khalil Mack's caliber, and you hedge your losses and you try and get somebody else on defense that's going to be grateful to come and play with you.
You know, that there is one, you know, when you got the name of the game in the NFL is draft picks. And the boatload of picks that Khalil Mack could bring to the Raiders so that Coach Gruden can mold that team in the image he wants might be too darn tempting for him to pass on up. And there are some teams that ain't particularly doing that well, who they are drooling to get a Khalil Mack, and they would give it up. They would be giving up them picks and some other stuff. And let's not forget that Gruden is a offensive-minded coach. And not that he disses the defense, but he's like, look, if we put up way more points than your team put up, we just need our defense to hold the line. Draft picks, juicy draft picks. First Lady, defend.
You know, even though Khalil Mack had a good season last year, the Raiders still was not good defensive either last year. So they need to trade him now when he has value. And there are many teams that would like to have Khalil Mack's services. There are several teams that would provide the Raiders with assets for Mack. Most teams need a defensive end that can rush the quarterback and make tackles, and Khalil Mack can do it all. Basically, the Raiders could demand king's ransom for this fantastic player, a number 1 draft pick and plus more. Khalil Mack is the real deal, and the Raiders need to play hardball with obtaining trade assets. Sometimes you have to give up a lot to get something great in return.
And here's a team that would give up a great. First Lady, take us to the break.
Stay tuned. Up next, the funnies and our favorite underwater friend on Flip It Part 2.
Go Flipper.
Welcome back. You are still listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. It's time for the funnies. Goddess Kelli, over to you.
All right, we have got a good and delicious one for you guys today. Georgia police probe theft of $98,000 worth of ramen noodles. Authorities in Georgia are investigating the theft of a trailer loaded with $98,000 worth of ramen noodles. The Fayette County Sheriff's Office said the trailer was parked at a Chevron station in Fayetteville on July 25th, and when the driver returned August 1st, he discovered the trailer and noodles were gone. Police said witnesses reported last seeing the trailer July 29th. The value of the missing ramen was estimated at about $98,000, indicating up to 300,000 of the noodle packets were inside the trailer when it was taken. Police said they released details about the theft Wednesday in the hopes of obtaining tips from witnesses. I gotta say, I mean, that's enough ramen noodles to feed an entire college dorm for an entire school year. A lot of ramen noodles.
That's a lot of ramen.
I never had ramen noodles. I don't even know what it tastes like.
Oh my gosh.
I have never had it.
Well, I'll put it like this. I don't think that you're going to be able to hustle and make a lot of money off of that theft. Because, you go to your local fence and you go, hey, man, I got some ramen noodles. The fence might be looking at you like, dude.
You can go to Walmart and buy them for 25 cents a packet.
When you can go to the dollar store and get 10 for $1, So, either but I'll put it like this. Now, they might be mad love with ramen noodles.
I have to say, though, I mean, when it comes to ramen noodles, there is only one kind that is vegetarian friendly, and it's hard to find. So if I found a trailer full of my vegetarian ramen noodles, I might be tempted to steal it because they don't sell it at all the stores. But in that note, if the water is splashing on you and your ramen noodles, it's got to be time for our favorite underwater friend. It's time again for Flip It.
The GOAT played in a preseason game and looked pretty good for a preseason. As many know, Tom Terrific just turned 41, and a certain ESPN host insists this is the year of the cliff. So we asked our panel, by the time the season ends, will we see Tom Terrific go cliff diving? Panel, defend. Old Man River carrying Tom Terrific down the river, and over the cliff he goes. Goddess Kelli, defend.
First of all, I want to say preseason doesn't mean anything. It means nothing. You know what, Tom? When it counted, the Philadelphia Eagles beat you down like it ain't no thing, 41-33. So we don't care what you just did in this preseason game. So there. But that being said, you know what? Old man time comes for everyone. And Tom Brady, your time, it's up. It is. You showed in the Super Bowl last season that you can't put together those miracle comebacks that have been the staple of your Super Bowls in the past, and you're starting to get tired. You're starting to get frustrated. You wouldn't even shake Nick Foles' hand after he beat you out for Super Bowl MVP. So you're also a sore loser, and you're a sore loser because you know that was your last shot to get another one of those bright, shiny Super Bowl rings, because every year you attempt to stay in the league is one more year closer to you becoming a shadow of your former self. You are one injury away from the end of your career and the end of your legacy. So I'd put a lot of trust in that offensive line, Tom, because you know what? Those defensive ends, they're coming for you. So you better be careful out there because you're fragile. You might break a hip. That's what happens to old people. That's all I'm saying.
Fragile Tom. All right. Break a hip. Spit face. Old Man River. Defend.
Old Man River just keeps on rolling. Just keeps on rolling. Tom Terrific off the cliff. I'm looking at this and I'm like, Tom, I have seen some great sports legends who they just had to go that one more time. They had something in the tank. They worked out. They looked good. And then Father Time said, today's your day. And somewhere in the middle of the season, for some reason, somehow, the body is going to say, I'm tired of getting hit. Yeah, I know you want to go out there, but I'm tired. And at 41, I say that what will happen is that it will be, he will start out on fire. Like those first 4 games, he's going to be whooping butt, throwing, man, Tom Terrific. He's going to get the MVP this year. He's smoking. And then somewhere after that 4th game, it's going to start being a little bit tougher. Tom is going to come up a little bit shorter. And for some reason, he's going to get hit a little bit more than he used to. And that ain't going to be because of them lying. And that's going to be because that body is going to say, you know what? We done dipped and dabbed and moved and shifted. And, now you just not as fast, not as quick. And that's just enough for them to get to the quarterback or harass. Tom, glad you married to Giselle. Got them nice kids. Because you're about to be a family man. That's all I'm saying.
He's just not going to make it. The body getting old. Old Man River catching up with Tom. Well, I'm just going to say Tom will fall off the cliff this year because he just does not have the receivers this year like he had previous year. I mean, Julian Edelman will be serving a 4-game suspension. Brandon Cooks and Danny Amendola are gone. He has Gronk and Chris Hogan. And we all know Gronkowski has been Brady's number 1 target. But he is always an accident waiting to happen. So I'm really not impressed with the Patriots offense this year. And it appears that, Brady cannot beat the odds that most quarterbacks will, playing in their 40s. It's just that it really doesn't happen. Brett Favre, he's definitely had problems when he was playing in his 40s, and I know there's some others out there. And I just don't think the Patriots have that camaraderie that they had before, because we all know that there was definitely a problem with Bill Belichick and Brady. And, you know, Bill was considering getting rid of Brady for Jimmy Garoppolo. So I just don't feel that Tom has the team that's going to perform for him. And I'm not saying it's really because he's getting old, because, you know, Tom is in great shape. I just don't think he has the tools this year. So it's going to appear that he fell off the cliff because of the fact that he just doesn't have the targets to throw to this year. So, and, you know, for me, a lot of it has to deal with Tom's confidence. It's just, I just don't think the team is together this year. There seems to be some friction between them. They're not there, so that's the reason why I think he's going to fall off the cliff. But this is where we flip the script, and panel, you need to defend. Better shape than Brett Favre and Peyton Manning. Plus, he's coming off a Super Bowl loss. Not this season, and maybe not the next 2 seasons. Spitface, defend.
Well, you know, one thing is, you look at Brett Favre and you look at Peyton Manning, when they got there, you know, and Peyton retired before he hit the magic 40, but he was gone. But the thing that was in Peyton Manning's favor was he was on a team that had a strong defense and really had some good offensive players, where what he needed to do was not make mistakes. In other words, not get the other team the ball. As long as he didn't get the other team the ball, because the other quarterbacks they had on that team kept giving the other team the ball. But he, you know, could, at that late stage, he could game manage. Now, Brett Favre, he was just a fired up old geezer. And that's right, he was just a fired up. He had that one last spark in him, but they should have retired his butt about 3 years earlier. So, you know, he kind of, you know, bumbled around and had that one last little hot streak. But that was it. He really was gone. Brady, on the other hand, has had the benefit of one, not taking the damage, the hits that a lot of other quarterbacks get. He's been lucky enough, blessed enough to have a good offensive line most of his career, and receivers who were going to go after that ball. Randy Moss. And, and then you got Gronk sitting up there. So, and he's got the fortune of having Bill Belichick, who, even though Bill knew that they needed to keep Garoppolo, Bill knew that. Bill knows how to design the game to, one, protect Brady and put Brady in situations where if it come down to it, Brady could dink and dunk his way to playing 2 more seasons and look good and be a winner. That's all I'm saying.
All right. That's all you need to say. I hear what you're talking about. God is Kelly. What you feel? Defend.
Well, when it comes down to Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, these guys have had their career together for, it's almost going on 20 years that these two have been playing together. Bill Belichick knows his quarterback. The reason that Tom Brady has been around as long as he has and has been so successful is because he knows his limitations. He knows his ceiling. And why he's going to continue that success is because Bill Belichick is not going to put him in the kind of risk where he would get injured. And Tom Brady, the same thing. He's not going to take unnecessary risks. He knows he's still got one hell of an arm. He's still got a lot of athleticism left in him. And he's going to trust in the team to line things up for him to make him look like a superstar. Because if you look back at a lot of Tom Brady's victories, a lot of it has to do with the team around him as well. Yes, he is a fantastic quarterback, probably one of the greatest of all time, but he has had a lot of help and a lot of people believing in him and supporting him and getting it done when he needs them to. Whether it was Adam Vinatieri, whether it was Ty Law, whether it was his receivers. That's just the way it's been for Tom Brady. He has been a lucky, lucky man, whether it's been the refs that have been able to cover for him. So that luck is going to continue. He is not decrepit to the point where he can't make himself continue to look good by playing up his strengths and ignoring the things that he's not so good at. So, yeah, he'll be okay.
He'll be okay. Well, you know, Spitface, I agree with you. Peyton wouldn't have lasted to be 40. He should have retired after that neck surgery, and like you said, he just had a good defensive team, and that's the reason why they won. Brett Favre was old man grumpy. He looked terrible, and he even acted like a dirty old man sending pics of his private part to that female reporter. But anyway, now on the other hand, Tom Brady is the way he is because of that TB12 method, which is his intense diet and fitness regimen that's kept Tom in physical top shape for a 40-year-old man. You know, he was so great, and, you know, his trainer, Alex Guerrero, provides the right training for Tom to succeed. Guerrero is so great, many of Tom's teammates used him at the Patriots facility until Belichick revoked Guerrero's privileges for being on site. You know, Tom has designed a lifestyle that enables him to perform well into his 40s. I have no doubt that Tom will be able to be successful this year and several more years. He has something to prove because most people don't believe he can be the Tom Brady that we are accustomed to seeing. So, you know, losing the Super Bowl to me was a good thing for Tom because I think it's going to make him even more aggressive in trying to show people that he can still do it. And I'm going to bet on Tom because Tom is Tom terrific. Well, Goddess Kelli, what are you serving with your jambalaya? Is it going to be hot, mild, or really, really spicy?
I think we have got a spicy jambalaya for you guys today. What is the difference between a northern fairy tale and a southern fairy tale? A northern fairy tale begins once upon a time, and a southern fairy tale begins, y'all ain't gonna believe this shit. So, how does this relate to a Microsoft News poll that Americans can't agree on President Trump, but they overwhelmingly agree that the NFL owners have totally bungled player protests? And I think that when it comes down to it, President Trump has divided this country rather decisively. There is people on both sides of the Trump train, and people don't agree. They don't want to see eye to eye on President Trump. They don't want to abandon their ideas, their ideals, and listen to what might be common sense from the other side, no matter what side of the fence of President Trump you're sitting on. But when it comes to the NFL owners and the protest, both sides do agree that the NFL owners are completely screwing this one up. Now, let's be a little bit stereotypical here, and we'll call the northern fairy tale the liberal side of the fairy tale. No offense, First Lady. No offense, Spitface, you guys being down in those southern states, but the majority of the time, that's how it goes. The north is the liberal, the southern is the conservative. But on the northern side, we have got people, the liberal people, saying that the NFL owners are screwing it up by trying to stifle the players and their ability to speak out on the issues that they care about, their ability to protest what they see as injustice. We see them getting mad at owners like Jerry Jones and other owners that are saying that the players don't have that right. The guys trying to control their slaves out on the football team. And then on the other side of the fairy tale, no offense again, the southern side, the conservative side, we have them on the other side where they think that the owners have screwed it up by not being harder on the players, by not making them stand, by not making rules, by not cutting them or suspending them or punishing them. So even though we don't agree on the issue, everybody agrees that the NFL owners suck when it comes to how they're handling it. And when it comes to Donald Trump, you either love him or you hate him. And that is the America we live in. So, First Lady, come take a bite of the jambalaya. What do you think?
Well, when it comes to Donald Trump, there is so much divisiveness. So am I surprised that people can't agree or agree regarding his presidency? On the other hand, they agree that the owners bungled the protest. Well, the owners bungled the protest with the help from President Trump. It's funny how Americans don't see that Trump remarks and statements pressure the owners to do something about these protests. Yet Americans can't agree about Trump. Trump has sparked so many controversies in sports, politics, and foreign affairs. Yet Americans can't agree or disagree about him. I can't believe how people have been so tone deaf to Donald Trump's rhetoric. That's what I'm thinking about this whole situation. It's all about Donald Trump, and he caused the NFL owners to bungle the players' protest.
Good face. Eat my jambalaya.
It's spicy. It's real spicy. And, this has just been a mess, a total mess. And part of the mess is that certain owners still have that slave owner mentality. And what they did was they showed their true colors. And I'm not just talking about Jerry Jones and that and the owner of Houston, Texas. You know, there's some other owners, because this is one of those rare situations where the commissioner was trying to, look, we got to mellow this out, and the owner said, no. And he said, okay, I'm going to let y'all go ahead, and I'm going to do what y'all want, because later on, I'm going to be able to show y'all that you don't know what the hell you doing, and y'all need to let me run things, because I am the man. But when you start getting to the point where even really strong, the anthem, conservative, red folks, or did I mean redneck? I mean red folks, they say, look, this is starting to just be too messy for all of us. Obviously, y'all bit and jumped way too early. You did. Because, the players ain't stupid. Okay, all right, so we got to stand. Well, we'll stand, but now we're going to raise a fist. We'll stand, but we'll lock arms. So are you going to just ban every expression? Because they're going to figure out another one. Well, instead of putting our right hand over our heart, we're going to put our left hand on the other side. And then what you going to do? It's just, I don't know. Goddess Kelli, send them some mild jambalaya so they can chill out. That's all I'm saying.
That's what we should do. Goddess Kelli's jambalaya, the one thing everyone can agree on. So, First Lady, take us to our next break.
On the other side of the break, we'll have another performance from Jessica's theme band on Shout Out. Please stay tuned. You are listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports, and it's time for Shout Out Part 2, the picks and the finale. The music flows from around the globe. To get a shout-out from the crew, Goddess Kelli, over to you.
All right, we have got another performance from Jessica's theme band. So, DJ, let's hear My Faith in You.
through the sky. Come and stay inside me without a reason why. Said I am an angel, but I just didn't know. And I began to suffer, my heart just turned to stone. Never lost my faith in you. Never lost my faith in you. Never lost and I'm from up above. You gently touch my wings, and I will show you love, yeah. All you gotta do, yeah, have a reason to believe we'll walk this road together to find a land of free. Never lost my faith in you. Never lost my faith in you. Never lost never lost my faith in you. Never lost my faith in you. Never lost
All right, that was My Faith in You. So is the track gonna get a shout out or the mute button? Now on this one, I'm kind of in the same place I was on their first song. I'm gonna give it a yo. I thought that instrumentally, the guitarist especially, extremely talented, very technically good. The singing was kind of eh. I can see them doing like local carnivals in small towns or weddings where they do mostly covers and then just throw in a few of the original things. Like I could hear these guys doing like a Sweet Home Alabama cover and then all the way to like a David Bowie cover. Like it seems like that's the theme. Like they've got a little bit of all of the different American classic rock genres, and I can tell that that's probably their influence in the kind of music that they make. But then again, it's just nothing special to me. So I enjoyed it, so I'll give it a yo, but it's just all right. So, First Lady, what did you think about this one?
Well, I enjoyed the song. The problem with the song, though, And then maybe it's not a problem. Maybe they realized that the star is the guitarist. That's why the music was louder than the vocals, because you could barely hear him singing. But when you could hear him singing, I thought the song was nice. So I'm going to give it a shout out based on the fact that when I heard the song, I liked the words and the lyrics and everything. But the guitarist, like you said, was phenomenal. I enjoyed the music more than I did the singing. So I'm going to shout it out.
All right. Spitface, what do you think of Justice Theme Band?
I thought it was a decent track, and it did kind of remind me a little bit of, like they said that they kind of modeled themselves off of Leonard Skinner, just not as good. And I'll give it a shout out. They're a decent band. They put a lot of effort into it, and so I'm going to give them a shout out.
All right, so that is the end of Shout Out, and if you liked what you heard from Jessica's Theme Band, that's still such a funky name, Jessica's Theme Band, you can check them out at jessicasthemeband.com. And if you would like to be heard or have any comments, you can send your emails and tracks to Panties at oldgrumpyradio.com. Now my favorite part of the show, over to the First Lady for the picks.
The hardball picks, who will wear the crown? All right, well, I had to crack the whip on the production assistant, so we finally got the results. So I'm going to quickly go over these results for the past 3 episodes. Okay, for the July 21st episode, Goddess Kelly was leading with 20,000. I had 0, and Spitface had minus 10,000. For July 28th show, Goddess Kelly was leading again with 20,000. Spitface had 10,000, and I had minus 20,000. For the August 4th show, actually I was leading with 0 points. Spitface had minus 10 points. And Goddess Kelly had minus 30,000 points. Spitface has minus 10,000 points, and Goddess Kelly had minus 30,000 points. So the grand totals as of today, Goddess Kelly is leading with 10,000 points. I have a minus 20,000 points, and Spitface has minus 10,000 points. So it's still a very, very close race. Let's get to today's picks. By the end of day Friday, Oakland will have more wins than Houston. I say no. Goddess Kelly?
I say yes.
Spitface?
No.
Okay. Seattle will have more wins than Cleveland. Goddess Kelly?
I say no.
Spitface?
No.
And it's unanimously. I say no. Yankees more wins than Houston. Spitface?
No.
I say no. Goddess Kelly?
I'm going to make it unanimous. No.
Philadelphia more wins than Arizona. I say no. Goddess Kelly?
I say yes.
Spitface?
No.
And finally, St. Louis more wins than Colorado. Goddess Kelly?
Yes.
Spitface?
Yes.
And it's unanimously. I say yes. Okay, we'll see how we fare for next week. And it's time for the panel to give their outrageous predictions. Goddess Kelly, what is your outrageous prediction?
At the end of the preseason, Tom Brady will realize that he's 41 years old and he will retire, leaving the Patriots looking for a starting quarterback.
Okay. Spitface, what is your outrageous prediction?
My outrageous prediction is that Khalil Mack will not start the season, the regular season, because he will be sitting out.
My outrageous prediction is Des Bryant will not sign with the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, they'd have to offer him a contract first.
Well, that's my outrageous prediction. He will not sign with the Cleveland Browns because they're not going to offer him anything. Okay. All right. All hail to the Queen. I know Spitface gave his, he talked about Queen of Soul earlier, but all hail to the Queen. Great Britain has Queen Elizabeth, and America had the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin. She was an iconic figure that reached all walks of life. She fought for women's rights, and she was always involved with politics as the chosen one by several presidents to perform at their inauguration. Her iconic song, Respect, was an anthem for feminists. In her autobiography, she wrote, quote, it was the need of a nation, quote, everyone wanted respect. This is so true today. With our current political climate, we need R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Rest in peace, Aretha. Goddess Kelli, what is happening in your world, and what do you want the listeners to know?
Well, I want all of the listeners to know that Goddess Kelli is having fun for the summer, and if you want to have fun right along with me, you can follow me on social media at KELLIERUTTAR. Come join the talks, join the fun. You won't regret it.
Okay. You can check me out on Twitter at Cheryl Smith at First Lady of Sports. Please visit us at BrasPantySports.com, where you'll find links for each of us, the original episodes, and the Bearskin Lounge with Dizzy Mac. E pluribus unum, out of many, one. Join us in demanding Congress honor the dignity of our fellow citizens from Puerto Rico and convene a hearing into President Trump's humanitarian disaster. Remember, they are our fellow citizens. E pluribus unum. This is Cheryl Smith, the First Lady of Sports Talk, Goddess Kelli, and Spitface, and you've been listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. See you next